Blanche bursts through the front door, her eyes alight as she brandishes a crumpled airline ticket. She explains between breaths that her daughter Janet has whisked her 14-year-old grandson David off to Paris, only to discover a scheduling mix-up has left the boy stranded in Miami for 2 weeks. Dorothy snaps her French workbook shut, heart pounding at the thought of hosting a teenager in their tranquil apartment. Rose immediately offers to bake David an extra batch of coconut macaroons, while Sophia narrows her eyes, muttering that if he wreaks half as much havoc as his grandmother, we'll need more than cookies. Dorothy steels herself and heads to the airport to collect David. When she returns, the lanky boy steps through the door, headphones clamped around his neck, skateboard in hand, and a look of bored resignation on his face. His clothing, baggy jeans, a neon windbreaker, clashes with the apartment's pastel decor, and his quiet demeanor radiates teenage indifference. Dorothy greets him with a warm hug, but he barely raises his chin. Rose attempts small talk about St. Olaf traditions, and Sophia rolls her eyes at the mashed-up accents. Blanche hovers, apologizing for the inconvenience, while David shrugs and slinks toward the sofa, already plotting how to survive 2 weeks among 4 meddlesome women. The first morning, David's alarm blasts through the living room as he snores on the couch. Rose jumps up to turn it off, nearly knocking over Sophia's china. When Dorothy gently reminds him of their 8 a.m. curfew, he mumbles that she's welcome to negotiate it with him. Over breakfast, Sophia's grits, Rose's jam-topped toast, Blanche's mimosas, David announces he plans to explore Miami's skate parks by day and watch late-night horror flicks by night. Dorothy frowns, scribbling curfew times on a notepad, while Blanche gleefully volunteers to chauffeur him, her southern drawl rich with the promise of adventure. As the week unfolds, David tests boundaries at every turn. He plugs in a boombox in the hallway, blaring rap music that vibrates through Dorothy's French conjugation drills. He borrows Blanche's keys to sneak off to a late-night drive, only to return with tire tracks on the carpet. Sophia catches him trying to lift her cheesecake from the fridge and delivers a swift, comic-timed slapping remark. "Stealing dessert from Grandma? That's low, dear." Dorothy swoops in with lectures on respect and trust, while Rose flutters around with snacks and reassuring smiles. In a whirlwind of mismatched expectations, the 4 women realize that surviving a teenager's stay will require firm yet compassionate parenting, and perhaps a little undercover detective work. One evening, Dorothy awakens to muffled voices and laughter drifting from the living room. She tiptoes down to find David and a half-dozen neighborhood kids sprawled on the floor, devouring pizza boxes and daring each other to chug soda. The boombox thumps a bass line that rattles the picture frames. Blanche, still in her silk robe, attempts to shush them with theatrical flair, but the teens laugh her off and surge into a mini dance party. Sophia bursts in wielding a rolling pin, scattering the youngsters like bowling pins. Dorothy follows, arms crossed, delivering her sternest scolding. No more parties, no more late-night noise, and absolutely no guests without permission. Rose hovers with a tray of warm cookies as peace offerings, but David's friends bolt out the door, leaving the apartment strewn with empty soda cans and laughter echoes. The group stands amid the chaos, pizza crusts on the carpet, cookie crumbs on the table, and the boombox playing on, recognizing that teenage energy can overwhelm even the best-laid rules. The next morning, David retreats to the lanai, shoulders hunched beneath his windbreaker. Blanche finds him sipping coffee, the sunrise painting the sky in pastels. She sits beside him and gently asks why he's pushing everyone away. He admits he misses his parents, who left him in their rush to honeymoon, and fears he's simply collateral in their adult lives. Blanche's eyes fill with understanding as she recalls her own regrets about choices made in youth. Dorothy and Rose join them, forming a semicircle under the swaying palms. Dorothy offers her hand, sharing how she once felt adrift after her own divorce, but discovered family in unexpected places. Rose adds a St. Olaf parable about strangers who become kin. Sophia arrives with 2 cups of hot cocoa and a wry smile, reminding David that family isn't just blood, it's who shows up when you need them. The boy, voice soft, thanks them and allows himself to lean into their embrace, his teenage walls beginning to crack. With trust rekindled, they decide to channel David's energy into helpful tasks. Dorothy teaches him basic French phrases to practice with her textbooks. He repeats conjugations with a grin, surprising them both. Rose assigns him to assist with her cookie deliveries to elderly neighbors, where his respectful demeanor wins hearts. Blanche enlists him to help reorganize her closet, transforming his skateboard dusting into a chore with encouraging guidance. Even Sophia finds him handy at sharpening her kitchen knives, complimenting his precision. David tackles each assignment with growing pride. He presses macarons into decorated boxes, loops hangers neatly, and even offers to rewire the boombox to play at reasonable volumes. Through tangible contributions, he demonstrates respect for the home and its inhabitants. Dorothy beams when she discovers his handwritten index cards neatly organizing her study notes, and Rose hugs him, whispering, "You're part of this family now." The shared labor cements the bond forged in confessions and forgiveness. On the final morning, Blanche's daughter Janet arrives to whisk David away, her thank you hug for each woman heartfelt and warm. Dorothy offers him her own carry-on suitcase filled with French flashcards, telling him to visit any time. Rose presses a box of macarons into his hands. Sophia plants a playful kiss on his cheek, promising to save a slice of cheesecake for his next visit. As they watch David leave, the apartment feels quieter, yet infinitely richer. Dorothy closes her French notebook with a contented sigh, realizing she learned as much from David as he did from her. The women gather on the lanai, toasting with orange juice to "family expanded." Their laughter drifts into the Miami morning breeze, a testament that an unexpected house guest can leave an indelible mark, and that any generation gap can be bridged with patience, kindness, and a dash of humor.